Hello, it is 9 p.m. in RTD. It's time to English New Edition. For tonight headlines, we have the Minister of Education visit remote areas in the northern of the country. The check giving ceremony for the first cut of the RRF project for the Ministry of Women and Family. For the international scene, Turkey and Egypt reject Trump's plan for Palestinians in Gaza. Welcome to our newsroom. The Minister of National Education Vocational Training, Mustafa Mohammed Mahmoud, accompanied by the authorities of the Tajura region, the Deputy Prefect Habibi Jilani, and the President of the Regional Council, Umar Hussein Umar, and the UNICEF representatives and senior executives of his department continues his tour marked by the inaugurations of several schools in isolated area from Madgul to Adgeno via Buya and Dadato. This mission is in the interior regions is part of the educational policy of the President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Gelle, which aims to reduce geographical disparities and guaranteeing every child, wherever they live, access to education for all. The first stage of this long journey took the minister and his delegation to the Madgul School, an establishment nestled in the heart of a dense and difficult to access forest. It is a geographical remoteness represent a major challenges for the schooling of children in the region. Is currently composed of 3 classrooms and refectory and accommodations for teachers, and the Madgul School accommodate 137 students. Aware of the potential of this establishment as a recruitment pool for children who are not yet in school, the ministry is planning to extend it and build a dormitory. The latter will accommodate students living in scattered camps and offer them a stable and secure learning environment. After Madgul, the minister went to Buya, a town located at the foot of the Mount Musa Ali, just 6 kilometers from the Ethiopian borders. The Buya Primary School, which has just been inaugurated, is one of the most remote establishments in the country. Its opening marks a significant step forward for the schooling of children living in this border area. It accommodates 235 students from the preschools to 9th grade. To meet the growing needs, a dormitory will soon be built, guaranteeing students from remote camps regular access to school without the constraint of a long daily journey through this inauguration. The Ministry of National Education Vocational Training reaffirms its desire to make school accessible to all, and even in the most isolated regions. Mr. Ali Adanna, chief of the villages of Buya, played a leading role in the establishment of the school, thus contributing to its creation and development. In recognition of his commitment and dedication, the minister awarded him a certificate of recognition for his essential contribution to this educational project. During the meeting with the delegation led by the Minister of Education in Buya Tajura region, the chief of the villages, Mr. Ali Aden, welcomed the delegation on behalf of the population of Buya and the Madgul sector. We are all standing the people of Buya and Madgul to the minister. I had already said before, and I repeat it today to the minister and Musa Ali's leaders, because previously he told us that from north to south, from Musa Ali, and to be united, gathered as one community. He also asked the Minister of Education to be part of the community of Buya and surrounding areas as a honor. The school of Buya benefited from a large mobilization of families from the sector of Buya and surrounding areas to enroll children. These parents brought from all localities and even from Djibouti. For some, he thanked the Minister of Education for his effort to improve the reception capacity of the school of Buya. For his part, the Minister of National Education reaffirms its desire to make school accessible to all. Listen for more details.
Aussi dit un autre mot, Al-Adan a dit Il m'a considéré comme
The
étant
Minister of
membre de la
National
communauté
Education and
de Bouya.
Vocational Training, Mustafa Mohamed Mahmoud, accompanied by the authorities of the Tajoras region, the UNICEF representative, and senior officials from his department, is continuing his tour, which includes the inauguration of several schools in remote areas. From Madgul to Adgenu via Buya and Dadatu, this mission to the interior region is part of the education policy of President Ismail Margele, which aims to reduce geographical disparities and guarantee every child, wherever they live, access to education for all. The first stage of this long journey took the minister and his delegation to the medical school, nestled in the heart of a dense forest that is difficult to access. Its geographical remoteness represents a major challenge for the schooling of children in the region. Currently comprising three classrooms and refectory and teachers' accommodations, the medical school has 137 pupils. Aware of the school's potential as a catchment area for children not yet attending school, the ministry is planning to extend it and build a dormitory. The latter will accommodate pupils living in separate camps, providing them with a stable and secure learning environment. After Medgul, the minister visited Boya, a town at the foot of Mount Musa Ali, just 6 kilometers from the Ethiopian border. The recently inaugurated Boya Primary School is one of the most remote in the country. Its opening marks a significant step forward for the education of children living in this border area. It accommodates 237 pupils free school to grade 9. To meet growing needs, a dormitory will soon be built, guaranteeing pupils from remote camps regular access to school without the constraints of long daily journeys. With this inauguration, the Ministry of National Education and Vocational Training is reaffirming its commitment to making school accessible to all, even in the most isolated regions. Mr. Ali Adan, head of the village of Buya, played a key role in setting up the new school, contributing to its creation and development. In recognition of his commitment and dedication, the minister awarded him a certificate. In recognition of his commitment and dedication, the minister awarded him a certificate of recognition for his essential contribution to this educational project.
The ministerial tour continued in Dadato and ended in Adgeno, two villages located in the far north of the country. These two isolated and difficult to access localities were faced with a lack of suitable educational infrastructure. The inauguration of the Dadato and Adgeno schools thus marks a major step forward for these border regions, each composed of three classrooms and a refectory and accommodations for teachers. They will soon benefit from the constructions of dormitories. These new infrastructures will allow students living in these remote localities to continue their education in better conditions without being forced to travel long distances. At each stage, the minister took the time to talk with the communities and representatives of the parents of students. The latter expressed their gratitude for the constructions of educational buildings that marks a major step forward in the educations of their children through these inaugurations and the announced expansion projects. The chief of the Adgeno village said that we welcome you and thank you for all the efforts to travel and travel you have made to come to us. As you can see, we come from far away to bring our children here. We come and go, but we encounter many problems, including that of water. We urgently need water. There are many children, but unfortunately, in the face of these challenges, their numbers are decreasing. The chief of the Dardatu villages said that we thank you with all our hearts for all the travel you have made to come to us. There are nearly 150 children here, and water remains a major problem. Although there is a water, it has to be brought to the school for the children. In addition, the roads are in poor conditions and are also a major problem. We also urgently need to improve access to health care. The prefect of the Obok region, Mr. Musa Adan Migane, said that the team met with the president of the regional councils to discuss solutions for water supplies in the region. He mentioned the importance of drilling and the school. The prefect indicated that he would discuss it with the Minister of Health. He expressed itself in these terms, stressing the need to set up a water supply. Currently, efforts are underway to obtain funding from UNICEF, with agreements already signed, and they hope to finalize this project by the end of the year. Furthermore, another grievance has been submitted concerning the creations of the health post, not only for this region but also for Adgeno. The Minister of National Education Vocational Training reaffirms its determination to guarantee access to school for all. Now listen to the Minister of National Education Vocational Training, Mustafa Mohamed Mahmoud.
Vous remercier de l'accueil et du temps que vous avez donné pour nous accueillir.
The ministerial tour continued in Dedatu and ended in Adgrenu, two villages in the far north of the country. These two isolated and inaccessible localities were suffering from a lack of suitable educational infrastructure. The education of Dedatu and Adgrenu schools marks a major step forward for these border regions. Each school has 3 classrooms, a refectory, and accommodations for teachers, and will soon benefit from the construction of dormitories. These new facilities will enable pupils living in these remote areas to continue their education in better conditions without having to travel long distances. At each stage, the minister took the time to talk to the communities and representatives of the parents. The latter expressed their gratitude for the construction of these educational buildings, which mark a major step forward in their children's education. Through these inaugurations and the extension projects announced, the Minister of National Education and Vocational Training, Mr. Mustafa Mohamed Mahmoud, is reaffirming his determination to guarantee access to school for all, including in the most remote areas. This new educational infrastructure are an essential lever for providing access to education for all and achieving universal primary education.
The Minister of Women and Family, Muna Osman Aden, met yesterday afternoon in the conference room of the CASAF with the resident representative of the World Bank in Djibouti and the Japanese ambassador to Djibouti. During this meeting, discussions focused on ongoing initiatives to improve the empowerment of young women. The Ministry of Women and Family, with the support of the Japanese Fund for Social Development and the World Bank, organized a check presentation ceremony for the first court of the composition is one of the project to support the resilience of women and their communities in the face of gender-based violence. The check presentation ceremony was chaired by the Minister of Women and Family, Muna Osman Aden, and was attended by the Secretary General of UNFD, Ms. Fatuma Musa, and representatives of the World Bank, the Japanese ambassador to Djibouti, the Secretary General of the Ministry of Women and Family, and the President of the Municipality of Balbala and Bulaos. The representative of the World Bank and Japan ambassador said that this day it marks a symbolic moment in the process of social transformation for women by offering them the opportunity to participate in large-scale projects aimed at reducing gender inequalities and strengthening community cohesion. The ceremony ended with the presentations of check. For her part, the Minister of Women and Family, Muna Usman Aden, said that the check given to the beneficiaries will be used to finance income-generating activities, life skills trainings, and gender-based violence awareness initiatives. This support is intended to enable them to rebuild after traumatic experience and become agents of change in their communities. The beneficiaries visibly moved, shared their testimonies, and emphasizing the importance of this program in their journey towards empowerment and rebuilding their dignity. This morning, the Star Cinema of Bawadi Mall hosted the long-awaited first film of Barney, an ambitious film production that marks an important milestone for the film industry in Djibouti, chaired by Her Excellency the Minister of Youth and Culture. The ceremony brought together an audience of high-ranking personalities, including Her Excellency the Minister of Commerce and Tourism, as well as the Minister delegate in charge of decentralization. Also present were the film directors, the producer, the executive producers, the director of photography, all the actors and actresses, as well as the managers and employees of the cinematography department of the National Agency for the Promotions of Culture. The film Barney is the result of a remarkable collaboration between a young Somali filmmakers and the NPC cinematography department, which worked to make these productions come to fruition by mobilizing the necessary technical and artistic resources. This project made it possible to showcase local talents by involving Djiboutian actors and technicians while highlighting the country's exceptional landscape through the camera. And the Brazilian director of photography, Rafael Matar, the audience was able to exclusively discover this feature film, which through poignant stories and striking scenes highlights universal themes such as hope, solidarity, and the quest for identity. Barney thus establishes itself as a major cinematographic work destined to travel beyond borders and strengthen the images of Djibouti on the international cultural scene. This preview marks a decisive step for national cinema and opens the way to new collaborations and opportunities for Djiboutian talents. The Minister of Youth and Culture, Hibo Moumin Assowe, stressed the importance of this preview for Djibouti not only as a showcase of the country's cultural and natural wealth, but also strong signals of the development of an emerging film industries. She congratulated all the teams involved and reaffirmed the government's commitment to supporting the initiative. The ambassador of Djibouti in Cairo meets the Deputy Prime Minister for Industrial Development and the Minister of Industry and Transport in Egypt, His Excellency the Ambassador Ahmed Ali Barre, meet Mr. Kamal Al-Wazir, Deputy Prime Minister for Industrial Development and the Minister of Industry and Transport for the Arab Republic of Egypt at the Minister's offices in Cairo. The ambassador was accompanied during this visit by Colonel Osman Dubad, military attaché at the Embassy of Djibouti in Cairo, and the purpose of this visit was to take stock of the latest development concerning cooperation between the two countries. At the beginning of the meeting, His Excellency Kamal Al-Wazir expressed his great joy at meeting His Excellency Ambassador Ahmed Ali Barre, praising his concrete efforts that have contributed to strengthening cooperation relations between the two countries in recent times. The minister also stressed the interests of the Egyptian political leadership in the implementation of all cooperation projects. The Djibouti ambassador to Cairo, Ahmed Ali Barre, met this morning with Ashraf Subhi, Minister of Youth and Sports of the Arab Republic of Egypt in his office. The meeting aimed to discuss and strengthen cooperative relations between the two countries. At the beginning of the visit, Ambassador Ahmed Ali Barre expressed his great pleasure In meeting, Mr. Ashraf Subhi again conveying greetings for the Minister of Youth and Culture and the Secretary of State for Sports of Djibouti. He stressed Djibouti's desire to strengthen its cooperative relations with the sister Republic of Egypt in all areas, particularly in the field of youth and sports. He also announced his country's willingness to sign a memorandum of understanding with the Egyptian Ministry of Youth and Culture. For the regional scene, a conference concluded in Mogadishu on support for displaced people, refugees, and returnees. A major conference has concluded in the Somali capital Mogadishu on ways to support displaced people, refugees, and returnees. The event was organized by the National Agency for Refugee and Internally Displaced Persons in collaboration with the IGAD. The two-day conference in Mogadishu brought together officials from various government institutions as well as representatives of IGAD. Ahmed Jama Saeed, a senior official at IGAD, said the conference concluded with the adoption of key recommendations that will provide a framework for support for displaced people and refugees. For his part, Mr. Mohammed Dad, Director of Humanitarian Relations at the National Agency for Refugee and Internally Displaced Persons, stressed that the conference had discussed ways to create employment opportunities for refugee and displaced persons in order to provide solutions to the challenges faced by these vulnerable populations. For the international scene, without garbage collection, Gazans live among the rubbish and unsanitary environment that attract vermin and insects. Listen for more details.
Mountain of trash threaten Palestinian health. Gaza residents face new crises as mountains of trash pile up in the streets, a result of collapses on municipal service during 15 months of war. Without garbage collection, Gazans population live along and among the rubbish and these sanitary issues environment that attract the insects and adds a new layer of hardship from those returning home after the siege.
Egypt and Turkey representatives call on Israel to allow UNRW to continue its humanitarian operations. Listen for more details.
Turkey and Egypt reject Trump's plan for Palestinians in Gaza. Representative from Turkey and Egypt calls on Israel to allow the UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees to continue its humanitarian operation. Turkey and Egypt strongly oppose any attempt to displace Palestinians from their historic homeland and call on Israel to allow the UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees to continue its work and humanitarian operation. U.S. President Donald Trump had suggested that Jordan and Egypt take in Gazans who have been displaced by 15 months of wars. Despite the international community's rejection of the controversial plan to uproot Palestinians from their homeland, many countries in the Muslims and Arab worlds, as well as in Europe, have categorically rejected the proposals. In a joint statement issued from Ankara, Turkish foreign ministers and his Egyptian counterparts stressed the indispensable roles of a UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees in supporting the Palestinians and calls on Israel to reconsider its decision that jeopardize the work of a UN agency.
And this is it for the news. Thanks for watching us. Have a good evening.